To this activity, I'm adding an exercise where you're being asked to find the probability of a z-score being below or above a given z-score, or the probability of a z-score being between two given z-scores. You're going to have some of these questions on your online homework assignment. I always get the same question. How can I find a probability if they haven't given me the mean and the standard deviation of the distribution? This is why I'm adding this exercise here. If you're talking about a z-score, then you're using a special normal distribution. What is the distribution composed of z-scores? I hope you answered that question. The distribution composed of z-scores is the standard normal distribution. We denote this with a capital Z. We say the z-scores follow a normal distribution with a mean equal to 0 and a standard deviation equal to 1. So again, if you're finding probabilities involving z-scores, then you're using the normal distribution with the mean equal to 0 and the standard deviation equal to 1. With that being said, you should be able to find the probabilities here below. I'm not going to give you the final answer for these probabilities. I'm only going to enter the functions that we're going to use. Let's go ahead and talk about these probabilities. If you're wanting to find the probability of a z-score being less than 2.36, then using a calculator, we're going to use normal CDF. The lower bound is -1E99. The upper bound is 2.36. The mean is 0 and the standard deviation is 1. Now again, if it helps, go ahead and draw the curve. At the center, we have mu equal to 0. We are finding the area below 2.36. That is why we're going from a really large negative value all the way to 2.36. Now, if you're using Google Sheets and Excel, you would write equal norm.dist. You would provide the x value, 2.36, the mean, the standard deviation, and then you would write true. Remember, this function is going to give you the area to the left of 2.36. That is the area you're wanting to find. Here, I'm not concerned about getting a value for the probability. Here, I want to show you that we're simply using the normal distribution with mean equal to 0 and the standard deviation equal to 1. And I also want to talk about the functions that we use on the calculator. So I'm not going to bother to enter this on a calculator. You could go ahead and do that from your end. The focus here is to talk about the functions we use. If you're trying to find the probability of a z-score being greater than 0.67, you can go ahead and visualize this by drawing a curve. Again, at the center we have 0. We are wanting to find the area above 0.67. On a calculator, we use the function normal CDF. Our lower bound is 0.67. Our upper bound is going to be a really large value, that is 1E99. Then we're going to be asked to enter the mean and the standard deviation. Again, the mean here is 0. The standard deviation is 1. Now, if you're using Google Sheets and Excel, we have two steps. The first step is to type equal norm.dist. Then you go ahead and enter your x value, 0.67, the mean, and the standard deviation. Then you go ahead and type in true. Now, remember, this function is going to give you the area to the left of 0.67. You want the area to the right. So once you find the area to the left, using the function here above, you're going to take 1 minus whatever you got with the function here above. That is, minus the area to the left of 0.67. Again, this is not the best notation, but here I'm just trying to emphasize that we're taking 1 minus whatever we got with the function above. Now, for part C, we're being asked to find the probability of a z-score being between 0 and 1.97. Let's go ahead and work a little bit faster here. If we're using a calculator, we're going to use normal CDF. Our lower bound is going to be 0. Our upper bound is going to be 1.97. The mean is going to be 0 and the standard deviation is going to be 1. You're asking your calculator to find you the area between 0 and 1.97, and you're providing the mean and the standard deviation. If you're using Google Sheets and Excel, we're going to have a few steps. We're first going to find the area to the left of 1.97. We're going to use the function norm.dist. We're going to type in 1.97, that is our x value, the mean and the standard deviation, and at the end we type in true. This is going to give us the area to the left of 1.97. We're also going to find the area to the left of 0. So let's go ahead and copy that function. This time we're going to replace 1.97 with 0. Again, because we want the area below 0. Once we have those values, we're going to take what we got for the area below 1.97 minus the value of the area below 0. In this case, you're always going to have the biggest value minus the smallest value, right? The area below 1.97 is going to be bigger than the area below 0.